Hello, and welcome to the What She Making podcast. This is Shira, and I am making some chicken pot pies, mini chicken pot pies in this video. But what I want to talk about today is something that I run into quite a bit as an artist, a maker, a creative being, and that is where to put my creative energy. Because if you are anything like me, and if you are listening to this and you are an artist and you know this struggle, you have lots of ideas, but what we don't have is a lot of time. And I would love to blame it on like, oh, well, I have a house, I have a family, I have other things to take care of. But it's not that's getting in the way. Because when I was single and just had an apartment, it was like, well, I have a job, I have rent, there are things that you still have to do regardless of where you are in life. Like, I wasn't making all of these pot pies before, but there were other things that needed to be done that usurped my time that didn't really give me the space to explore every creative idea. So the question is like, what do you do? How do you prioritize? What creative endeavors get done? What ideas come into fruition? And which ones just, I don't know. I feel like they crumble or they shrivel like a raisin in the sun or something. I'm not sure. So currently for me, I would love to redo my entire wardrobe. I know I'm starting off already insanely ambitious, but there are clothes in my closet that no longer reflect my current taste and evolution, I'd say. Like, there's a vision of how I want to look, but I don't want to necessarily spend more money. I don't want to fill up landfills. I don't want to, really buy a bunch of new stuff. So, I mean, I know how to sew. I know how to embellish. So that's basically what I'm doing right now. Like, I'm pulling out, I took an embroidery class and ordered some different size hoops. I have a plan for this one particular jumpsuit. And actually I have 3 jumpsuits, but they're all in like these very neutral colors. And so I need to add some pop, some patterns, some brightness to them because that's what I'm reflecting. Like, I bought these at the height of the pandemic, and I think what I was going for was comfort and cozy. And right now I need to dress more for dopamine. So I need more patterns, I need more colors. But these are really, really comfortable, sweatsuit, jumpsuit things. So I'm looking to really enhance those a bit. At the same time, because like I said, these things run concurrently, I am also trying to record some of the videos of things that I made last Christmas because I would love to offer them as crafty courses. So last year, I thought about it while I was making it. You guys know how this goes. I was like, ooh, this would be a pretty cool class to teach. But last year I made these Nutcracker soldiers. I made them out of cardboard, but they weren't like your typical Nutcracker soldiers. They they got like the wavy hair. I got gold fronts on one of them. The other had a gold tooth. They have like these crazy outfits that I made using some felt and some leftover fabric scraps, but they were just like fun and not typical, not at all your traditional Nutcracker soldiers. And I was like, I'm not seeing anyone else do this. I think this needs to be a class. But of course, since I didn't record my process last year, I need to recreate one in order to have the recording so that I can share my process of the class to the class. So that's like bumped up in priority along with the jumpsuit that I'm about to embellish. So that's two. Keep count, guys. Keep count. The other thing I want to do is something else again that I made last year that I did not record. And this actually might need to come first as I think about it, because it's an advent calendar, but I wanted to make my daughter this life-size advent calendar. So it's not like a little thing that you like put a couple of little chocolates in. I got like a bunch of gifts and trinkets and things from the dollar store. I also did some makes and bakes because I didn't want it to be all candy or all gifts. So there are some like small gifts, but I also included like some little craft projects for us to do together, as well as some baking mixes for us to make together. But it was like the size of her. It was this giant advent calendar that I used recycling boxes and containers to stick all together on like this little presentation board, and I made the numbers myself. And again, when I make things, I should just record the process so I don't end up in the same situation where I have to recreate something in order to record the process to share it as a class so that others can know how to make these other fun things. But I just told you three kind of top of mind, very present projects that I am trying to prioritize in where to focus in order to kind of, triage where to put my creative energy. And I don't know how many projects are on your plate or what you have to do in a day, but for me, it gets tricky. It gets so tricky. Like, okay, I also need to, like, you start going through the list of what you need to do in a day. It's like, all right, dinner does need to be made. Oh, let me throw in a load of laundry. Okay, let me fold the last load. What time do I need to, okay, I got to pick up the kid from school. Oh, by the way, I'm in a class for a certificate program and it's really intense. And I have a 6-page paper due in 2 days. But I'm talking to you guys right now instead of doing that because this is a priority to me as well. Guys, it's insane. It's insane to juggle life and creativity at the same time. If you are an artist out there doing this as well, my hat's off to you. Kudos to you. If you are a parent in any way, have any kind of responsibilities, you are a guardian. If you are a fur parent, you got a fur baby, like all of these things come with responsibilities that kind of take up the time of, you have to prioritize those as well as your time being creative. I like to get up early. So there are many times when it's like, okay, well, my eyes are open at 4:30. Let me knock something off the list so that I can have more time for my creative endeavors. I know some artists who are night owls. I know some artists who are just like look, my partner has to take the reins for a while because I want to get through this giant project. I remember this lady from guys, what is that show with Amy Poehler? The Making It. This woman was on Making It and she I mean is just I loved her work. She did like these amazing sculptural pieces. She did like paper mache and she sculpted with foam, just super talented. Everyone that they choose for that show is super talented. But she was talking about how she's a mom of two boys and she's like, look, they are feral because I am in my studio making. And I was like, yep. Like that spoke to me. Like, yeah, cuz you have to do the making for your own peace of mind, but also there are responsibilities. And hers were her two boys, but there are other, we all have some layer of responsibility in some way that also needs attention. So how do you find the balance? I mean, she said that, I mean, I'm sure that her boys were not completely feral, but there are some things I think that she was saying, like, look, there are some things you have to let go of. Like, you just have to let go of that. Like, do you want the kids to be absolutely perfect, the house to be absolutely clean, to never order out dinner? It's like, I don't think that you can do that you can have a curated life and a creative life. Yeah. I don't think that's possible. Like maybe if you had a staff, if you had, I guess you could hire cleaning people, and nannies. I don't know. Just I don't think that you can have a super curated life and a creative life. I think there's always going to be some kind of tug of war for your energy. And even if it was only creative projects, you still have to prioritize those. So what do you do? What do you do? I don't want to leave you with just like a throw your hands up and no hope. But I think it just really comes down to finding the time. We all have the same 24. It would be good if you slept for 7 to 8 of those hours. So with the remaining, it's like, okay, probably have to work, probably also have some housework, but really like get the bang for your buck out of any remaining hours or minutes that you have to be creative. Like really get into it, focus, get through a good chunk of a project. And I think the real lesson is it can't all be done all at once, but you can do part of it in chunks. You can do it all in chunks. So I am going to wrap up episode 10 of the What She Making podcast. And my next chunk is going to be to maybe get a couple of pages of this paper written. And then I'm just going to go and put one applique on one jumpsuit and go and pick up my kid. Because you can do all of the things, just not all at once. Thanks for listening.